Welcome back, Ram fans. Mark from Rams up here doing our weekly Rams Path to the Playoff video. Yes, I know at some point this is going to sound like pure comedy silliness, but Rams still have a 6% chance, I am told, to reach the playoffs. So I'm saying there is a chance. The path is still there, and we're going to continue doing this until they're eliminated or they clinch. Yes, it could still happen. And it's not so much the schedule that concerns me, it's the way this offense has been playing. And that's why that 6% chance may not take that into account, how bad this offense is playing. Has to be improvement or we're going nowhere, right? Before we get into the path to the playoffs for this week, a couple of notes. Brian Allen and David Edwards are both out for the Saints game. The Saints, on the other hand, are missing some guys up front on the defensive side, including their stud, Cameron Jordan. So maybe it's a wash, but this offensive line, we can pretty much expect them to be pretty mediocre regardless of who they throw out there. Our right tackle, Havenstein, will be fine. Everybody else, who knows? Coleman Shelton sliding over to center. He should be okay. Is Ibushi going to play? Possibly Matt Skura. Are they going to let Bobby Evans roll another week? I hope not, to be honest with you. I like to see Kyren Williams get involved. That will be the one thing I'm tuning in for. Darrell Henderson will probably get the start, get a handful of carries, maybe play the first set of downs, the first series. And then I'm thinking Kyren Williams will get a shot in prime time. When I say prime time, not in garbage time like we saw last week. So let's get to this path to the playoffs for this week and what has changed. Well, we got a little bit of help from Tampa Bay. They knocked off Seattle. So Seattle drops to 6-4. The 49ers squeezed out a win. They improved to 5-4. That doesn't really hurt us. We actually would like to see the Niners win the division and have Seattle slip into a tiebreaker with the Rams. The Rams, of course, they've had two chances to really take a step forward, and they blew both of them. So now they're 3-6. And the Cardinals aren't on here. And let me back up here for a second. This whole premise is with the Vikings taking first place in the NFC North. We're hoping Tampa Bay wins the NFC South, dropping Atlanta and Carolina into possible tiebreaker situations with the Rams if that were to happen. And then three teams from the NFC East, leaving the two second-place teams in the West battling for the final wild card, and that ideally would be Seattle and the Rams, because it kind of lines up. The Rams beat Seattle twice. That is almost absolutely has to happen for the Rams to have a chance here. And then they beat the Broncos and Raiders. That's possible. All of this, of course, is on the assumption that there's going to be some improvement in the offensive line and the offense performance by the offense overall. But let's just say they do improve. They do get better. They start scoring maybe 20 points a game instead of 12. Yeah, they could beat Seattle twice. They could beat the Broncos and Packers. But then this is where it gets tough. They need to win two against these other teams, Chiefs, Raiders, Chargers, and Saints. And the Saints are probably the best candidate for a win there. So a win Sunday is extremely important. San Francisco, we just need them to finish ahead of Seattle or drop Seattle into that tiebreaker with the Rams. So the way I see it, 49ers finish 10-7, Seattle and the Rams finish 9-8. But where does that leave the Cardinals? We're not sure. I may have to expand this slide. Maybe we'll figure out a way of doing that depending on what happens this week and include Arizona on this. And hey, you know what? I was thinking the one thing that would be sweet. This is not the ideal situation, obviously. I'd love to see the Rams find a way to get to the playoffs, as far-fetched as that seems at this point. But wouldn't it be nice if San Francisco and Seattle came into that last week trying to get into the playoffs, and San Francisco needs our help by beating the Seahawks in Seattle to help San Francisco out. and we lose, that would be the one game I wouldn't mind losing if it were to somehow deny the 49ers the division title and potentially even a playoff spot. That would be pretty sweet. And I know, do I like the Seahawks? No. Would I rather see the Seahawks over the 49ers get into the playoffs? Absolutely. That's a no-brainer for me. So that's our path to the playoffs. Turn it on back here one more time. Seattle 6-4 loses to the Rams twice. They lose to San Francisco. They lose at Kansas City. All very plausible. There's their other home games there, and the Rams beating Seattle twice, beating the Broncos and Packers, and winning one of those other two. It could happen. Not likely, but hey, there is a chance. I'm telling you, yes, there is a chance. I don't think the Rams should roll things in quite yet. Call it a day. Cooper Kupp being out does not help, obviously, but hey, maybe it's a blessing in disguise. Maybe Matthew Stafford starts learning how to get other guys involved. Hey, maybe we'll see Lance McCutcheon before the season's over. Maybe we'll see Lance McCutcheon Sunday against the Saints. We'll have to see. That's all I got for now. We'll revisit this next week and continue monitoring the Rams' path to the playoffs out here. Thanks for checking in with us.